Welcome back, everybody, to Soul Blazer Randomizer percent Bracket C. percent 3. How is everybody? Welcome back. I am Solar Cell 007. I am joined by the Axeman. Hello, Axeman.
Hello, Solar Cell.
Now, unfortunately, the Axeman and I did not fare so well today. Hopefully, you all were entertained by our shenanigans on stream. We have 4 new runners for you right now. This is Bracket C, as I said. We have Benjinator, Nether, Dented Razor, and Name Faker. So, for Benjinator, he is a 35-year-old male, 1 year older than me, the old guy, from Nevada, USA. He's on the speedrunning board for ActRaiser any percent and Soul Blazer any percent with scrub times. He's trying out a possible Japanese RPG run of some game. He likes long walks on the beach and encouraging Queen Anne B to be the best at that baby game. Nether Dragon is 28, male from Idaho, USA. He enjoys RPGs the most, like JRPGs among other RPG type games. He tends to like older games that he grew up with over modern games. He hasn't been streaming long, started really streaming a year ago when he started staying in the dorms, and only stream when he can when he's in school. Because he's in school, he can only stream when he can. This is the first game he's ever speedrun on a weekly basis. His best time outside the weeklies was a 2:14 during a race.
And we've also got Dented Razor, 37 from North Dakota. He enjoys RPGs, a lot of JRPGs and action RPGs. He's been streaming over 2 years. Apparently a dad. So congratulations. And I know how that is. The Hatchet Boy is here. He's hopefully going to be away. But also, he has a PB on the randomizer is 142.23. That's pretty impressive. Name Faker has recently earned the Japanese version Soul Blazer any percent task. Yes, a very impressive world record. So we'll be looking at him closely. He likes all kinds of random Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and so go ahead and follow both of these runners. All great streamers.
All right, with the introductions out of the way, I'm sure that we are itching to get this race started. Should be pretty interesting. Everybody in this bracket had the closest times. All right, looks like they're getting started. Good luck to all the runners. Vanilla sort of life. Is this even randomized?
I love the names here.
Yeah, not Hulk. All right, so the very first item they get that is actually randomized is the medical herb. Could prove useful as they go into the first dungeon of the game.
This first dungeon is always where you start. Because of how the randomizer works, you always start in the first world and have to kind of earn your way to the other worlds. And this is a great first layer. Wow.
You really got to be careful. We don't have much HP when you start the game, and to see all of these randomly moving plants, that's a little scary. So it's probably good that they got a medical herb before they came in here.
So one thing we should point out, this is the preliminary round of the tournament, and the finals will consist of the winners of each round plus a wild card winner, and that wild card goes to the runner that has the closest second place finish. Currently, the margin to beat is 13 minutes, so not hard to beat at all, really. If this race is close at all, we're going to see 2 of these runners going to the finals.
It's true. Currently, it's Aliens QB Live that is moving on to the finals, but this race could change everything. All right, these runners are just doing their normal walkthrough here. Some with different strategies. Some are getting 2 layers to populate at the same time. Some just going in a more linear fashion. That's something I noticed Name Faker was doing, and so that is definitely his speedrunning taking over right there.
you got to watch out. If you learn the vanilla speed run, of course, you're going to be skipping a whole lot of stuff. And that's something to watch out for, because if you skip the wrong thing in the randomizer, it's not going to turn out very good.
Right. So everybody has the Dream Rod and Leo's Brush. So signs so far are pointing towards continuing through Act 1, but we'll see what these layers provide. The Dream Rod, of course, for entering dreams of animals and NPCs. And Leo's Brush will get you access into the final dungeon of the first act.
The Dream Rod, not necessarily required, but pretty much always required, just because there's so many dreams, that mechanic you pretty much always have to use.
Well, we see Namefaker opening up the Architect, so there is a path at least up to where that dungeon would be.
So we said earlier, this is always the first section that you do. However, right after this, there's a few places that could be second. And it looking like the one that we're going to do might be that Leo's painting section.
I've noticed while we've been going through the weeklies over the past month or two, you tend to get the Zentetsu sword relatively early. With opening up the final dungeon, if that is what's going to happen, this might be something that runners will have to double dip into, because that's the beginning of where you see metal enemies that you can't destroy without the Zentetsu sword or the Soul Blade. Seems like there's a lot of plants in this first dungeon.
That makes things interesting. Enemies that... so there's a few different AIs for the enemies. Some of them sort of move randomly. Some of them move slowly and always towards you. Other ones sort of have this... it's like grid pattern where they move 2 squares one way and 2 squares another way. It's almost always abusable, except for these plant things that go, Oh, what a brilliant strat from Namefaker here. You can't always do this in the randomizer. But in this case, both of these layers are multi-spawners, and so he's getting some extra... he's spawning all of these guys at once from 2 different layers.
Yeah, that's another definite speedrun strat right there. Taking a little damage, getting ready to Death Warp after this layer.
Can be a little nerve-wracking because you can die pretty fast, and you don't want to die before you actually hit that last layer.
Oh no, Namefaker. Oh, I've done that before. He still had his medical herb equipped, and so he tried to Death Warp, but it refilled him back to full.
The lucky thing, though, is that usually that medical herb comes back pretty fast. You'll just find another one. That's why we call it...
No, go ahead.
That's why we call it herb percent.
Yeah, it's odd that I guess there is more than just one medical herb in this game. Alright, so true to what was said, Namefaker going into the final dungeon of Act 1. You don't have the water mill opened yet, so they can't go to the second one.
The other possibility is getting the old man who is sort of the leader of this world, and then you go to the next world. And then you probably end up coming back. The water, so the second section of the underground world, and unfortunate death from Dented here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can end up just going to the second world, but this is definitely one of the possibilities.
I mean, it's nice that they can come to the end of this act. They'll have a shot at the boss. What's not nice is that it doesn't seem that anybody's picked up a new sword or new armor.
Yeah, we have no sword, no armor, no magic. This is actually a fairly rare setup where you go to this section without anything else. So this is something that's going to test the mettle of our runners, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We see the Watermill Keeper, so that means they're going to be able to do the second section of the Underground Palace, or the Underground Castle right after this.
So far, Lisa hasn't been spawned, so another chance for double tipping. Really just depends on the order that they do things. If the I didn't see actually. Did the chief get unlocked in the first dungeon, or are they still?
Oh, we have not. No, we haven't seen the chief. We got the old lady, but not the chief.
Okay.
So you have to have the old lady first. That's kind of the first floor of the house, and then you also have to have the chief. So kind of a two-step unlock for this chief. But we haven't seen the chief, so still no access to the second world.
And there it is, Zentetsu's sword on Namefaker. So that's pretty nice. He's just about to come across his first metal enemy. Perfect timing. And these metal enemies give, what did that say, 250, 350? A lot of experience for the area that you're in. So he should be able to get a few levels before he has to fight the boss.
And a strange bottle that we can, well, we could use it for a death warp, but we probably won't because I think they're just going to open the portal.
Yeah. And no magic's found either.
So we have that Zantetsu sword, but we don't have anything else. And so these metal enemies are going to take they're going to take a little while to take down. All we can do is hold it out. We can't swing it until level 16.
Right. And this, if people are in chat right now that haven't really seen the game before, as far as the sword swinging mechanics, the swords have levels associated with them. So you can see like Nether Dragon is level 3, I believe. And so the only sword that's lower than that is the Sword of Life. So that's the only sword that he can swing. Once you get to higher levels, you get access to be able to swing different swords. And it's something you have to decide on, especially for bosses. If it's more powerful to stab at them, holding the sword out with a higher level sword, or swinging with a low level sword. You also notice that most of the time when the runners are swinging a sword, they're going to be standing to the southwest or the bottom left, or however the orientation is of enemies. The edge of the sword to Blazer's right side will cause the player to do more damage than if they were standing to the other side of them.
And you also get sort of an extra extension to the hitbox in that direction when you're holding the sword out. So when you hold the sword out, kind of to the up to the north, then you also get an extension to the right. If you hold it to the right, you get an extension down. So you can use that to kind of hit enemies that seems like maybe aren't exactly over the sword.
So the chief has been opened. It's the layer that's in the top right of where Nether Dragon, Vengenator, and Dented Razor are. So it'll be interesting to see if the players continue to go into the second dungeon or if they move on to Act 2.
And this is really kind of a personal choice. I could see either way being good.
What would you do, Axeman?
I would do the part 2. Forget about Lisa. Who cares? Because we may not need Lisa. I would just do the second underground palace. We're gonna need to do that. We may not need Lisa, so let's gamble on not needing to do Lisa. But maybe we do need her. We'll see.
Okay. Nether Dragon needing a reline. Got a little off center from the layer. Had to push up against the wall to realign his character.
So the conveyor belts kind of get you off of the so there's like a tile system in your movement, but the movement is actually based on sort of a frame rule. When you tap the button, you move half a tile, and so the conveyor belts can move you fractions different from that half tile. So you move, you can get off that half tile. That can make it hard to kind of like get on the different, like the teleporter or a monster layer. It can be annoying.
All right, a quick heal for Dented. Vengenator finishing off the Metal Mantis. A boss you'll probably be familiar with if you play Illusion of Gaia as well. All right.
So just popping into the master's area. Oh, and it looks like Namefaker's going for the route that I suggested earlier. Oh, or maybe not.
Oh, we almost forgot the.
Oh, that's So you actually do have to go in and turn the water wheel, or else that elevator won't work, and it won't. Yeah. So Namefaker's going a little bit out of his way, but realizing before he actually gets to the elevator that he does need to turn that water wheel.
That's Team Pixel Grinder for you. Namefaker, myself, and Aliens Cube Live are part of Team Pixel Grind. So we were rooting for each other while we were going through this. It's up to Aliens Cube and Namefaker now to represent in the finals. All right, someone diverge. Give us an interesting little divergence right at the beginning. Although I will say, most people probably don't want to deal with the statues and the plants in Act 2 unless they have a little more better equipment.
That's right. We still don't have any armor, and that can make it kind of tricky sometimes. But that being said, there's not a lot of chances to get items in this second part of the underground castle. It's pretty much all releases. But those releases can release NPCs in the town that will give you items. One of the biggest ones that I'd be looking for is the Grass Valley Hype Cave IV.
So we do see that the chief gives the goat food. So if they unlock that goat, they'll be able to figure out where one of either the Soul Blade, Soul Armor, or Phoenix is.
It's occasionally useful, but oftentimes you find them before you get both the goat food and the goat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we see that divergence. Dented going on to Act 2 instead of...
Woo!
And he gets an armor. Wow.
Soul Armor.
I mean, everyone's going to get that pretty early. Hopefully, if none of them forget that. But and he's also going to unlock the ice armor chest here. So the armor is of course nice, but you don't really need it for this second section of the underground palace. I think Namefaker's is going to be just fine doing it without the armor. And he's got, the sword, the Zantetsu sword. He can beat the enemies super fast. So it's not really, it's nice to have, but it's not really something that's giving him an edge in this race, I would say.
You also notice that I've been seeing Dented and Namefaker do it a little bit from Benjinator, and Nether Dragon's doing it right now. That the characters are crab walking. That allows you to keep your sword stuck out in one direction. Makes the movement and attacking a little easier when you're trying to corral enemies. You do that by holding the L or R button.
So we've got a whole bunch of required releases ready that they always happen, but you always wonder what's going to be the last one. We get the builder for the castle, so the Magrid castle is constructed now. We need that to get the King Magrid. There are a whole bunch of other releases that are sort of just random NPCs in town that don't do anything. So those are kind of like, oh, yay. But when we get something like that builder, the builder soldier, that's exciting.
All right, so seems they did split 2 and 2 on where they were going. Unfortunately, they don't have any magic to kind of deal with the enemies that are spawning, at least on Nether Dragon's screen. He's getting rid of these bushes. If the players had magic, you could get rid of the enemies on the 2 layers above them. Those flowers especially could cause a lot of lag while you're trying to kill the plants he just did.
The flowers cause lag, but You can do so if you get the little kind of butterfly that they send out, that kills the flower. The other thing you can do, if you switch back to the sword you can swing, I noticed the little dragon things that jumped, they were jumping down, and that puts you in range of being able to hit them with your swinging sword. But I noticed that Nether Dragon did not do that. So far, we haven't seen multi-spawning. A lot of these, particularly annoying multi-spawn sections in the Light Shrine. We've got these statues, but they're single spawning. Makes it a lot easier compared to when there's a whole bunch of them appearing all over. And there's Lisa.
Ooh.
So, Dented and Nether will be able to go back, and when they do the Underground Palace Part 2, they'll be able to get Lisa along with everything else. And the question is, will Namefaker and Benjinator go back and get Lisa, or will they skip her? And is Lisa even required?
Stay tuned to find out.
Isn't random great? So far we've got no stones. We found the soul armor in the in Greenwood, but we haven't seen anything else. So we've got, we haven't seen, oh, okay, there's the red hot mirror. That's another required item.
He did that just to prove you wrong. So Dented has a mirror and one emblem, and so far that's just about the only progression. I will say Namefaker and the Benjinator do have the king from Act 4 and one grandma. So that is progression in its own sense. If you collect all 3 red hot items, have both grandmas and the king, talk to the king, they'll do their little shimmy, and you'll actually have access to Death Toll, the final boss of the game. Plus, you'll get an item.
It probably won't be Phoenix, but it could be something good.
I mean, I've seen seas where the soul armor is in its vanilla chest, so it could be the Phoenix. Alright, so Namefaker has the king and access, or King Magrid and access to King Magrid unlocked now.
So out of our 2 and 2 players here, we've got Dented and Namefaker seem to be in the lead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once the I guess once the water shrine is, I don't know.
Well, one of the indicators is going to be whether Lisa's required or not.
True.
So we're going to see that once Benjinator and Nether Dragon get around to that. I got to imagine they're going to be going back to the Underground Palace pretty fast and getting Lisa.
I don't believe that the tree has been unlocked to move on to Act 3. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. That could be either on Lisa, or it could be in the Fire Shrine, or end of the Water Temple. Or Water Shrine. So the Axeman, what is your favorite dungeon to clear in this game?
My favorite dungeon to clear.
Yes.
I like oh man, there's so many good ones. I've got to go with Leo's basement just because the music. I mean, the music is good, the enemies are interesting, and the music is good.
Okay.
How about you, Solar? Oh, and by the way, that was the Spirit Sword on Dented side.
So that's good. If they get the green leaf before they clear
and
the
they
fire
do
shrine,
the Greenwood Leaf was earlier in the Water Shrine, so they're
Yeah.
able to actually full clear all of Greenwood.
Things are coming up dented right now, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I would say my favorite dungeon to clear might be probably the World of Evil.
I like the mechanic where, you open the teleporter and then, there's an item on the one teleporter that you've got to go to.
Too soon. Too soon. Hearing a little bit of music right now. Did you turn something on your side?
Oh, I did not. It must have been one of our SpeedGaming helpers here.
Suddenly loud music. SpeedGaming, could you help us out for a second, please? Oh. Yeah. There we go. I guess. Okay, so the green leaf is in that bottom left chest that the Benjinator just opened.
Yes.
So more metal enemies here. There are 3 more layers they can clear in the Fire Shrine.
So in order to clear the metal enemies, those scorpions, you actually have to get across you have to go down the basement and come back up on the other side. Otherwise, there's one of the scorpions on the other side, and you just can't get all the scorpions to get the layer without that. So you can beat 2 of the scorpions and get some experience in this first area, but you can't actually go all the way through and get all the scorpions. And that's the ghost ship statue.
Now they will need Rockbird unlocked to get access to that. That's one thing I've always struggled with, is trying to understand the logic spheres in this. Or how the randomizer's programmed to deal with logic spheres.
I haven't quite gotten it myself, but it seems there's definitely some odds where if something is unlocked later, there's a lower probability of something being there. So just the fact that we've unlocked certain things earlier means there's more likely that you need something required there.
Benjinator picking up one of the bajillion medical herbs they'll be getting this seed. Now, I will say, and darn it, Netananima, I am so sorry, but I just have not learned the path through this room that Dented Rage was going through. Most optimal one.
This is rough. I did not do it very well in my run earlier. I don't know about you, and I had this similar setup with like no armor, and well, I guess they've got soul armor. I don't know what they're complaining about. I had no armor, and I had the Zantetsu sword with no power ring or anything.
For the seed that I was running in, I tell you what, there is nothing more soul draining than picking up the bubble armor and opening up Model Town 2 within the first few minutes. My heart crushed. Another dragon picking up a medical herb from that chest. I do believe that chest will never have something super important for the seed as it gets erased, I think.
But it can be something really good, like a magic or an armor. Yeah, something like that. You probably don't want to skip it.
Right.
That goes the same for Queen Magrid.
All right. So Dented does have that goat unlocked. So he will be able to find out where one of those 3 special items are when he gets back to Act 1, since he has the goat food. Hopefully, it's not a hint for the soul armor, because then it's just a waste of time.
All right, now we're in the second level of the Fire Shrine. In this level, you've got this interesting mechanic where there are these bridges that kind of light up and get too hot, and you take damage. So you need to either wait for them to cool down or just take some damage and go through.
The Dented really doesn't have the luxury of running through and taking damage.
Does he have a medical herb?
I did not see. We'll probably find out soon, though. So these bridges, when they do damage to you, they'll do 1 damage unless you have the ice armor. The lava in Durian does 4 damage. How much is it?
I think that's about right. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
And the same for Leo's basement and the power plant. When you step over those hot zones, does about 4 damage per hit. So the ice armor does help in several areas of this game.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you get the ice armor before this, pretty rare, but it can happen, and it makes this just a piece of cake. All right, so Dented does have a medical herb now. That's going to help him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a level up. So that's the thing about having the Zantetsu sword here. Those metal scorpions give you quite a bit of experience. You're going to level up over and over again. And every time you level up, you get your health refilled. And so that makes this, that kind of just adds to how easy this is. You do have to kind of be a little careful.
It is nice. For Soul Blazer, your experience is shown to you on the screen, so it's not like you have to go into some menu to see how far away you are from a level. The level caps are something you can learn or memorize, and so if you have an idea of how close you are, that can change how risky you play it. Dented flirting with death, but hopefully the medical herb will save him if he doesn't.
I believe his level up procced before the herb. So yep, and there goes his herb.
Okay.
So in this area, you've got these like kind of square with all these platforms in between, and there's 2 things. So there's 2 scorpions going around. And then you've got to also, so you're taking damage on the hot platforms and the scorpions you've got to get, and we still don't have any magic to get enemies from a distance.
Right. And the worst thing you could do right now, when he was on that square section, if he had stepped on that layer he cleared, he'd have to go back and fight all these scorpions. I know a bunch of us have done that before.
Oh, yeah.
Dented unsure if he wanted to clear all those enemies that had spawned on the left side or go ahead and step on this layer. He killed the final metal scorpion, and so he was good to go from there.
So in general, when you release anything, it goes to a cutscene, and that resets all of the enemy layers on the area that you're on. And, it's usually bad. It can be good, but usually you want the enemies to spawn so that, you can kill them. However, once you've actually killed all of the enemies and kind of like pop that layer into the green state, now you can reset things, and it won't that the layer will stay sort of like green and dead rather than sort of just resetting all the enemies. It's especially important. Oh, and there's the guardian. There's the guardian of the woods there.
Now, I would guess everybody has a spirit sword right now. They have the green leaf. I would probably guess that they're going to continue on and do the light shrine while they're here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'd be crazy not to. And in fact, I think a lot of them, I don't know, has anyone opened up the teleporter as that's kind of like a safety? I don't think anyone even bothered with that.
I hadn't seen. Maybe not.
So there's a teleporter between the water shrine and the fire shrine that you can use sort of as a safety to travel You can go back to town, you can refill, and then if you die, you can kind of come back to that teleporter right away. Pretty nice if, it comes up. But if you go all the way through and get everything, there's no reason to kind of go back there. You save a bunch of time.
All right, Dented gets the harp string. That is an item that ends with a bunch of NPCs you have to unlock. And the final lair for the fire shrine. Somewhat easy to miss. Is Ivy leading down to what could potentially be 2 additional items they can get in Act 1.
So because of the divergence here, it's really hard to tell who is ahead. Just a reminder, Namefaker and Benjinator both have already done the second section of the Underground Palace in Act 1. So they've got this huge section done that Dented and Nether Dragon haven't, even though it seems like in this area, they're both ahead. That's why. And there was definitely some required stuff there. So Benjinator so Dented and Nether Dragon are going to have to go there eventually. So until we get sort of that reconvergence of everyone going back and doing those sections, we're not actually going to be able to tell who's really ahead.
Yeah, typically I like to shoot ahead as far as possible just to get faster levels, but I think in this situation, since Lisa's already unlocked, that I would probably go back after the Light Shrine and just see what was in that second dungeon.
That's not bad, and there's kind of sort of competing interests here as far as like, do you go back and get all of the NPC items as you go, or do you kind of like wait and come back and do like just one big NPC item rush? And it really depends on the seed as far as which one actually wins. You never really know.
Some of us would just like to think that whatever you do decide to do, the seed will require the opposite.
That's always how it ends up, huh?
Yeah. Alright, Benjinator flirting with death a little bit here. Having played a little safe while he goes to kill these scorpions. Does not appear to have a medical herb anymore.
I would say he should go on and beat some more scorpions, probably get a level up, and then he'll get all his HP back.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I don't know if I would have thought about that.
I actually do not have all of the level up thresholds memorized, but I know that if you get all the scorpions, usually... Oh, there it goes, yeah. Usually if you get all the scorpions, you end up on level 11 or 12.
I remember that level 24 is 420,000, and that's usually what I'm good for.
Yeah, that's the important one, huh?
And Dented unlocking Marie the Doll. So that is access from world 5 to 6. He'll need 1,000 other layers to open the way to her, but it's a start.
I think I've seen one of those stairs, maybe. I haven't,
Yeah,
but hopefully...
2 stairs and a door, I believe, correct?
Yes. And it's got to be, the right door.
Yeah.
There's only 2 stairs, but there are 2 doors. One door is, nice to have, and the other door is necessary.
So you can see Dented going through the light shrine right now. You can't really see anything except where there are little torches on the ground. Most players will opt to not pick up the NPC that gives you light in here. It's not too completely awful to memorize the pattern through here. And since the players have the Spirit Sword, they're going to kill everything. And then at the end of this room, they'll fight the boss and then open the layers that they cleared on the way back. Now, much like the metal enemies, these little fireball spirits, they give a lot of experience. 1,100, I think?
Yeah. So way more than the scorpions.
And it just gets you one step closer to hitting that threshold of level 16 so that you can swing the Zantetsu sword after. It'll help him do a lot more damage than just poking around.
So that first big threshold is 16 to swing the Zantetsu sword, but we've got the Spirit Sword, so we're also interested in swinging that, which is at level 19.
Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying the trolley comments in chat right now. I'm still smiling, everybody. Have at it. Doesn't bother me.
Uh, we'll see if anyone, if there's any race time moments in this race as well.
All right, so you got the Spirit Sword, level 15. The Act 2 boss, not too bad. For the speed run, this boss is a nightmare, but you're a little over-leveled, a little overpowered. Not too bad to deal with. Plus, you have the soul armor.
Yeah, soul armor makes everything a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. At this point in the game, the only thing that would be better would be the light armor.
That's right. The light armor enemies at this point will just tink off of you. But the soul armor is the strongest. The soul armor is actually better to have later on when the enemies are strong enough that the light armor's special bonus doesn't do anything. So we saw Dented went through, he beat all of the soul enemies, but he had to avoid the layers in order to not reset those soul fireballs going around. So now he's going to go back and clear those layers that he killed the enemies. He's just got to pop on the layer there. And now that he's, cleared the fireballs, it's he doesn't have to worry about anything resetting. But these layers could have something interesting.
Okay, so technically everybody in the Light Shrine, although Dented is about to leave. Speed-wise, I would probably put Namefaker slightly ahead right now, just because he will be finishing the Light Shrine relatively soon, and I know
I
Dented
think so,
still
yeah.
has to go back. And we get the bubble armor, so
Wow.
most of Act 3 is in the picture right now. Let's see where he goes. Back to Act 1 or forward to Act 3? He's going back to Act 1, okay. So, in a little bit, we'll be able to get our first look to see what Lisa was hiding.
He's also going to be able to get a couple NPC items, and he's going to be able to get this hint. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Model
Town 1.
That is actually pretty big, because Model Town 1 is something that you could skip.
It is nice. I mean, if you were looking for layers for NPCs, you would tend to go for something other than Model Town 1. But if you're going for an item hunt, you would definitely go to Model Town 1. I believe there's 4 or 5 items you can get in there.
There's 4 items, but Model Town 2 is it only has 2 items, but it's faster.
Mm-hmm. And it's better to hunt for NPC layers than that. All right, we're going to push this tulip, and he's going to get another medical herb to the pile.
There's a reason we call this herb percent.
All right, so Denta's going to make his way back into the second half of the first dungeon. Namefaker making his way back up to the Light Shrine, and we'll probably be moving forward to Act 3. So I'm going to go ahead and switch audio to Namefaker right now, so we can listen to my jam once we get to Act 3. But only actually because he'll be in the lead. That's the real reason. Yeah, I guess a lot of people like Leo's lab music for their favorite music in the game. I'm partial to the above ground sections of Act 3. What would you say your favorite song is?
I like Leo's lab. I also like I like the ocean and the storm that first island. Oh, I gotta remember. But yeah, there's so much good music here.
Name Faker
South
picking up
America,
the
yeah,
water?
yeah.
Alright, Nether Dragon is fighting the boss. It is going quite well. Dungeonator will be making his way up there pretty soon. Alright, so Mushroom Shoes behind Lisa. I'm super mad
Wow.
at the seed for everybody. Yeah, hate to see it,
Wow.
folks.
That could be interesting for Dented and possibly Nether, since that's the route he's on. So, given that, it's hard to say who's in the lead now, because in sort of general like amount cleared, it's clearly Name Faker. But if those mushroom shoes are important, it's hard to say when Name Faker's actually going to go back and get them.
You can lose a relatively large amount of time if you only do half of the mountain and then warp back from the blue gem. Say, Ryu, if you say that, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, the mushroom shoes, I probably should have had a little more fun with them than I did in my race. And yeah, the other reminder is that if the second place finish in this seed is within 13 minutes of the first, that runner will get the wild card entry into the finals.
So Namefaker did go to Act 3 first. He's the first one to reach here, but there isn't too much you can do. He's cleared Act 1 and Act 2, so it's not like he's missed something. He just now unlocked the Queen, but until then, all he could really do was Southerta.
So the only thing Namefaker's missing is those mushroom shoes from Lisa. There's some other NPC items. He didn't get the hint from the goat, but other than that, we didn't see anything else in Act 1.
And Rockbird, it's Rockbird and not Rockford, right?
That's right, yeah.
That is not unlocked yet by any player, and so there's not much else you can do in Act 3.
And of course, we still don't have any magic. That could mean a very interesting setup for... Well, so assuming... So it's possible here that Namefaker discovers he needs those mushroom shoes pretty early. And if there's nothing else that opens up, he could go up the mountain. If he can't get Gnome the Snail to go to Act 5, then he's going to have to go back to Act 1, do Lisa, and then he'll get his mushroom shoes. And if we're really lucky, we're going to get to see the wonders of No Magic Lanol.
If we're lucky, not so much for Namefaker.
That's right. These runners aren't going to be saying that.
But interesting, our 2v2 has split apart. The other three players are now back in Act 1, going through that, seeing what Lisa has to offer, and that final dungeon that they had missed. Must refrain from humming the song from Namefaker.
Yeah, so this is really compelling. If So the thing is, lay null is almost always required. I guess it's not like a 90%. It's more like 70%. But still, if the odds are you're gonna have to do lay null, and so Namefaker here, if he goes up the mountain without those mushroom shoes, there's a chance he'll have to come back down and come back with them. But we'll see.
Now the draw is there just because the mountain itself has 4 items in one spot, and then an additional item before the mushroom shoes are required. So I mean, it's a relatively dense area for items. You could find something pretty good there. Alright, Namefaker taking damage here. He wants to Death Warp after this layer.
That's the fastest way out of here, if you can Death Warp, if you can kind of set it up right.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a magic bottle, you're going to lose your gems, but I didn't see if he had one. I mean, on the other hand, he doesn't actually have any magic, so it's not a loss to lose your gems, but he's going to try and save his gems anyway.
Well, Black Sliver, obviously the music is a jam. Yeah, much like any other randomizer, I think as a community you can bond together to be angry at the seed you're playing. I know that's what draws a lot of people in. You get a good sense of accomplishment when you can piece together where you have to go.
It is, yeah.
Go through this. All right, Namefaker coming back to check out to see what Lisa's going to have. So, not going to suffer too much. I think, trying to get into the runner's mind, I'm wondering if he's thinking, if I can just reach level 16, then I can swing my Zentetsu sword going into Act 4, and he'll be able to kill the enemies there much faster.
So, if we go into Act 4, going up the mountain, you're going to get that level 16 pretty fast. Those enemies give enough experience to do that.
It's true. Off the top of my head, I don't really know how fast it is to stab them with the Spirit Sword compared to being able to swing a sword by coming back later. Alright, so Namefaker's going to get to learn where the Phoenix is.
So at this point, we can pretty distinctly say Namefaker's in the lead. He has all the information and all the releases that everyone else has.
I'm a little intrigued to know... Oh! I completely missed that. Dented Razor just picked up the Soul Blade. It seems like he's going to the Water Shrine to level up to level 19. So he'll be able to start swinging the Spirit Sword. It's not a bad play. Get 3,000 experience per spear you kill.
That Soul Blade, it was in... it must have been in the water area? In St. El's?
I completely missed it. It might be at the end of... It could have been. Something unlocked from the second dungeon, possibly. We'll catch it from someone else for sure. The viewer community can bond together and hope the seed being miserable. Oh, that's how it always is. On the right side in the south building mermaid area. Ah, okay. So they unlocked access to the actual ocean, and the chest had it. Awesome. What's extra interesting, though, is that we still have not seen a stone.
That's right. Ah, I see. Okay, so Lisa's lair had the ocean. And that's why Namefaker doesn't have it yet, is because you have to unlock that and then go to the ocean.
Man, I can think of some people that would absolutely hate to run this seed because of how important Lisa was.
I tend to put off Lisa a little bit. I mean, if I can get her before... Yeah. This was interesting. I'm surprised that no one went to the mountain first.
So one thing that Dented is doing, it seems like he's going to try to level up farther than just level 19. From a speedrunning sense, 19 is where you typically stop. There's nothing wrong with leveling up to more. At level 24, you can swing the Soul Blade. But for most things in the beginning of the game, you'll be able to kill them pretty quick just by swinging the Spirit Sword. We'll see how it works out in the end. It might pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's going to lose some time here going through this grind, especially when this is sort of just out of the way. He had to walk all the way through the beginning of the water shrine in order to reach this point, and he doesn't have the teleporter opened. But he does have the gem here. He can just teleport back on that gem once he's done.
I mean, I was trying to beat around the bush, but sure, we can say he's losing a little bit of time doing this. All right, so Name Faker, first one on the Mountain of Souls. This holds the my favorite grouping of 4 chests. I think there's 3 major areas in the game. You have the 4 chests here. You have what people call Hype Cave in Act 1, and then I'm not really sure what people call the 4 chest grouping in the Ghost Ship area.
It's like the secret the secret cave there.
Yeah.
But Name Faker not picking up his Soul Blade. He's probably going to get that. He might not get it until later, but that's not a big deal actually, because he's got the Spirit Sword and the Zantetsu, so he can actually beat all of the enemies. He just needs to get that Soul Blade eventually.
The only thing he's missing out on right now is being able to level 19 by grinding on these spears that Dented is. But for the level he's at, by the time he gets through Act 5, he'll be there no problem.
And, he can swing that Zantetsu sword, and by the time he reaches the next set of spirit enemies in Act 6, there's a good chance he'll have that at that level 19, if he even needs them. Mm-hmm. Which is probably, we haven't seen any stones yet, so there's a good chance we're going to be seeing quite a bit of this game clear, just because we are almost an hour in, and we haven't seen any of the stones. So if you have the Soul Blade, you can actually kill the snowballs there. They just die to your sword. The other thing you can do is get them to hit against a rock, and then they sort of disintegrate. But if you have the Soul Blade, you can get them to disintegrate.
They do get a fair amount of experience for that, yeah.
They do, yeah. It's kind of nice, and as we saw the spikes in the shrine there, as well as the spear traps in the underground of Magrid Castle.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nether Dragon and Dented Razor are pretty close. Nether Dragon opted to just stop grinding at level 19 once he got the Soul Blade. Benjinator opting to come to Act 4 one level lower than 16, but the experience here is good, as you said earlier, the Axeman, so he'll be at level 16 in no time. Plus, with the Soul Armor, you can get hit a few times and be okay.
Yeah, and he's switching back to the Sword of Life just because being able to swing that sword is really nice. And you get that level 16. If you have one of the other swords, either the Critical Sword or the Psycho Sword or the Lucky Blade, then it's kind of an easy calculation. If you can swing it, use it. But then you compare the Sword of Life to Zantetsu, and it's a little harder.
So Name Faker just picked up the Lucky Blade and the Red Hot Stick, so that grouping of chests was definitely amazing. He doesn't. Oh, he does have the mushroom shoe, so he will continue on. I forgot he went back.
We're pretty sure. I mean, he doesn't have any magic. The other thing, though, is that we've got the snail. Do we have full access to Gnome? I'm not sure.
They might not, but we'll see what the layers coming up hold.
So in order to reach Act 5, you need to have the snail. So we can see that we've got Gnome the snail, but you need to have several other things released in order to actually get to Gnome and talk to him to get his item and then ultimately move on. We saw that. So one of the things you have to get is the king, because if you don't, the jail cell is closed. But we've got the king. So the question is whether or not we have all of the NPCs that you need to get to him. If not, then it's a pretty clear, it's pretty clear you've got to keep going. Otherwise, it's a question. Do you try and do Lane-Ol with no magic when it's going to be pretty slow? Or do you gamble that, it might not be necessary, you can come back later? That gets a little trickier.
Well, we are almost an hour in. SpeedGaming, this is probably a good time to show off the prize that these
a great
runners
idea.
are playing for. So we'll give it a second for that to pop up. All right, Benjinator is level 16. He will be getting those awesome items up on that hill pretty soon. And they do have access to Rockbird, so it'll be interesting to see if they'll progress to Act 5, if they do have access all the way to Gnome, or if they'll go back to Act 3 to do stuff. Alright, so here we see on Name Taker's screen the reason you would tend to want to have magic when you come into this area with these warping wizards.
He's going to press on, though. This may be the right play.
Could be. I mean, logically, this place was open before the rest of Act 3, so... yeah, we'll see what happens. One more call to SpeedGaming to see if we can get the lovely prize that the runners are playing for up on the screen for everybody. Alright, Nether Dragon going back in from the one lone lair in South Redel. It is in logic that even if you don't have the bubble armor, you should be able to get access to that lair.
So far, I don't think we've seen anything, absolutely mandatory in Lane-Ol past the mushroom shoe point.
Yeah, nothing yet. And it is unfortunate. There are a lot of warping enemies there.
Yeah, so the speed strat on these Wizrobe enemies is to get from a distance and then hit them with magic. Which spell should our runners use? Well, they don't quite have any yet, so they're kind of they have to go with the slower strat of just letting them appear, teleporting, and then beating them. Luckily they do have the soul armor. They've got some good weapons here, but it does make it a little slower compared to being able to just, wipe them out from distance with magic. You can see Namefaker's sort of like muscle memory of trying to stay away. and get them from a distance, and, and then realizing, wait a minute, I don't have anything to get them. We've got to go in and get them face to face here.
Here's something we could probably agree on, the Axeman. What do you think is the worst spell in the game to use?
The worst spell? Oh man.
My vote would be Tornado for sure.
Tornado? I think yeah, Tornado. Although, I've recently had a bunch of seeds where I've got Tornado, and it's kind of like, you can make do with it. It's better than nothing.
I mean, it works out sometimes where it just goes exactly where you need it to.
And, any enemy it hits, they die right away. Mm-hmm. It's just, you've got to hit them.
All right, so Benjinator, first player to go to Act 5. I feel like we need to listen to that music right now. We'll keep a look on Namefaker to see if there's anything worthwhile at the rest of Leno.
So Benjinator going straight into the basement area of Act 5. This is one area that is pretty good bet that you're going to get some stuff. For example, this dolphin here he's getting, that dolphin gives you one item immediately, and then it also opens up the way to get another item from a mermaid in this kind of the side area there. So, you can see you're going to get a whole bunch of releases. There's one item that could be something important. Unfortunately, there is one of these mice enemies that's zipping away that he wasn't able to get, and so he wasn't able to get that layer because there's just one of these fast-moving mice enemies somewhere that he doesn't know where it is. Oh, there it is. And there it goes.
I mean, Benjinator, I love you, man, but that's funny.
Sorry. Yeah. There is sort of like a backup strat where you hit a layer, and like we said before, when you release something, it actually resets everything. And this is where it's good, because it resets all of the positions or the spawn release of these mice, and then you can know where they are and get them.
Uh-oh, Meta's favorite dungeon, Model Town 2, has been unlocked.
Wow.
All right, Namefaker continuing on. Unfortunately, finding one more warping lair. Another dragon.
What do they serve in the restaurant in Greenwood?
Oh, I don't know if you're trying to make a joke or asking me for lore. Either way, I'm going to fail you miserably.
I'm pretty sure no one's actually going to talk to the dog, but they ask, you can talk to the dog that's running the restaurant. They say, what do we serve here? And they make a joke, and the joke is, we here, since we're animals, we eat people. But no, actually, on Namefaker's side, we saw that he released the right tower. The right tower is in Lanel. And that right tower is something that's almost always necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Namefaker is, I guess now that Benjinator is in Act 5, it's arguable he may be in the lead if Act 4 doesn't pan out here. But the VIP tower, that's pretty important.
It is, for sure. It's definitely good for item rushing at the end, if that's all you're looking for, which might be what this comes down to, is no player has any stones yet.
No. Yeah, there's almost always a stone in that right tower.
Mm-hmm. Specifically the bottom right chest, right before the boss.
And, even, so there's 4 chests. There's a whole bunch of, there's a bunch of releases, and some of those releases can be important. But then there's also the you get to the end, and there's the demon bird, and there's the Leo sequence, which opens up. So the Leo sequence gives you an item, and then there's another item from the queen if you have her. So definitely some stuff there.
Little reminder to everybody, if you're enjoying what you're watching, we thank all the runners for being a part of this today. Why don't you go ahead and shoot a follow over to them? I'm sure they would appreciate it. They've been working hard the past 2 months to get prepared for today.
Oh, and Amalas notes the mermaid statue for Blester was also in Lanol here.
Ugh, but it's Blester.
Blester. So Blester has... past that mermaid statue, there is a potential item from a gem, and there's a bunch of releases. It may not be required, but there's a chance it might be. And in a seed like this, where we haven't seen any stones yet at all, not a bad chance that one's going to be required.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. Here is the prize, everybody, that the runners are playing for. It's on Etsy by Tomonitor. They've done an amazing job. I know they did work for the Illusion of Gaia randomizer that was held a few months ago. This is a little scene recreated. A little bit of a jab at most of the runners to see that the Phoenix is indeed on the pedestal here. They're a wonderful prize. I know a few of us in the community have one for the Illusion of Gaia randomizer tournament. And that's what they're going for. And if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow during the finals, one lucky viewer will also win this. So good luck to everyone tomorrow. And a special thanks to Monitor for making these. He puts a lot of effort into it. And when you receive that gift, at least for the Illusion of Gaia one, there were a few little extra pieces of flair that came into your package too when you received it.
Ooh.
All right, so we have Dented Razor on the path of correctness. Benjinator and Namefaker are both in Leo's lab, Leo's basement right now. Nether Dragon's also on the path of correctness.
So Namefaker has already done Lanol here, so we've got to say he's on the path of correctness too.
Well, yeah, for sure. This is interesting. It's a fun little race. He's missing the Soul Blade, and it's in a spot that's not necessarily going to be abandoned until the end of the game. I'm sure he'll go back there to check that, and he'll get it. It is unfortunate that it seems like, unless the Benjinator gets some magic along here, that everybody's going to be going through Lanol without magic.
So I haven't been keeping track of the staircases and doors here. I don't know if we'll get to Marie. What's our status on that?
I don't think she's completely accessible yet, but I could be wrong.
It's so hard to follow 4 runners at once. Every
Shame
single
on them
release
for not going the same direction.
I know.
Oh, and there's Model Town 1. So we know the Phoenix is accessible right now. And being near the end of here, we'll see if the Benjinator goes up there. We'll see how much access he has there.
So Rockbird, the first of the areas in, or I guess the area. So Blester and Rockbird are both accessible without anything else of the statues, and both of those we've got. So Rockbird is something that's almost always necessary. There's 2 chests and a gem, and you almost always have to go there. So we're pretty sure we'll see we'll see everyone go back there. And that'll give us an excuse to go back and get that soul blade for Name Faker.
Yep. Benjinator getting a little rambunctious. He wants that Phoenix, and he wants it now, even though he won't be using it until the final boss.
And not a bad plan. You know that the Phoenix is here, so why not see if there's anything else, and
Right.
Get this out of the way.
Yeah, the runners are they're pretty blessed right now because they can go forward as much as they want and know that they have the soul armor on. And so there's not really going to be anything left in the game that's going to give them too much trouble, especially because they can at least swing the Zentetsu sword. And the sleeping soldier has a mobile key. Who knows?
Wow.
Who knows?
So yeah, 4 items to get in this area, in Model Town 1. There could be magic. There could be what else do we need?
Another grandma. Oh, but you're talking about items. The red hot ball. Sure.
The red hot ball. Yeah, we need that. We know the Phoenix is here.
A power
and we
bracelet
need
or a super bracelet would be amazing right now.
Oh, look at this. So with no magic, he's forced to actually go around the way. Props to Benjinator for like thinking of that to know that he can actually go around and slash these enemies with a certain strategy. He can actually slash these enemies with no magic because we found no magic at all.
Yeah, and that went right along with what you said at the beginning of this race, that the certain direction that you're facing, you'll extend the hitbox of the sword. That's exactly what he was doing there. We have the crocodile. We haven't seen the deer yet, but there is still hope that this could be a ped seed. A good old pedestal seed.
And if it is, look at that. We've got 2 of the 8 emblems. Another, really interesting one. And those emblems can show up in the world of evil. It could be interesting.
It is for sure. In that case, I guess it wouldn't work out unless it was the red hot ball.
I guess yeah, that's
the stones would be
really be yeah.
But if it is a ped seed, it couldn't happen to a nicer Benjinator. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be sitting here with a smile on my face, but I'll probably be smiling.
I mean, the other possibility that would be really fun would be like platinum card.
You're a little sick, Axe, man.
I would wish that on anyone, but. And look at this. We see Dented doing the dream for the mushroom.
You're not gonna. Oh,
He's gonna do Loon. Wow.
Oh, wow. Hey, it might pay off. We'll see. You usually be a little hesitant without any magic, especially if you have other areas open. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, the thing is, we don't have access to. Oh, and there we have magic.
Yeah.
Benjinator picking up and picking up the stone. First stone and first magic in Model Town. Wow.
All right, Benjinator, you get to keep the music on you.
But Dented also picking up a stone.
Which stone was that?
The black stone.
Okay.
It was in the first treasure chest in Loon. So we have 1 stone in Model Town 1, 1 stone in Loon. So far is our stone breakdown.
There's a red hot ball.
Wow. Okay, so Loon, red hot.
I need a moment. I just can't right now. Awful. So yeah, that worked out really, really well for Dented. Obviously, as you can see, he's got some warping enemies to go through, but he knows at the very least the beginning of this area was required. Ah, and there's access to the power plant words. They're awesome. Ah, so we do see that the Benjinator picked up the NPC to show you invisible enemies in Model Town. I'd missed that until now. It doesn't cost a lot of extra time to get that, and it helps you locate them quicker. It does generate a little more lag than normal, though, so it is a bit of a trade-off. Yeah, for those who weren't aware, everything is fine if you were watching the races earlier today. All right, co-commentator Queen Anne B is okay. The fire scare they had earlier today.
Wow.
All right,
So Benjinator thoroughly enjoying the ability to use magic, even if it is just Rotator.
I mean, Benjinator causing a little bit of lag just holding that down, but okay, that's all right. You're having fun. Sure. Now, the Rotator isn't extremely powerful, but it does cause that ball of energy to circle you a little faster, so another one of these trade-offs. And there's the Phoenix, so he is good with that. Yeah, so he has the Soul Blade, the Phoenix, and the Soul Armor. We'll see where he goes after this.
So the new material here is from Dented and Namefaker. On both of their sides, we're seeing areas that haven't been explored yet. On Dented's sides, we're getting Loon, and Namefaker, we're getting Rockbird. Rockbird, an area that almost always has something required. Loon, also pretty high probability. So let's see what we get.
Yeah, and you see that Namefaker went to the right side relatively soon. That's because the chests are here, and he's probably more interested in these than the layers. It turns out that they aren't useful. But there are a few more NPC layers in here, so of course he's going to clear the whole area.
Nether Dragon is also in Loon, but a little behind Dented.
Now, it is nice that the Benjinator has magic, but you can see it follows around you closely. So, depending on where the layers are that have the teleporting enemies, it might not be that useful. It is slightly difficult to be able to hit those enemies from a distance. It's possible if you swing your sword to stay in place and move that ball of energy. Now, that is a mechanic we might not have talked about. If you're pressing up against the wall in this game, you can cause that ball of energy that circles Blazer to go in the direction you're pressing against, and allows you to hit enemies that are super far away from you. It's a little more difficult when there's no wall to do that, because you need to swing your sword in the correct rhythm to keep yourself in place while you're also simultaneously casting that magic. So it'll be interesting. This Rotator isn't the best spell to get. It is magic, but it isn't the best spell for Loon, so we'll see when he goes there and how well it works out.
At this point in Loon, it's pretty it's fairly low chance to have no magic here. So this is definitely something we don't usually see, is having to do this with no magic at all.
Mm-hmm. So Dented going in to fight the final boss of Act 4. I know we were talking about this earlier today. This boss is one of the few censorship results between here and Japan.
That's right. Oh, a dancing grandma.
There we go.
So the boss of Loon, 100% required, because we need both of those grandmas to do the dance.
And to that I say, forget this seed. Now that is something that Denton can go do right now. As long as he has access to the king, he can turn in the 3 red hot items. They'll disappear off his tracker, so don't be alarmed when they disappear, everybody. And that'll give him access to Death Toll whenever he does get to the World of Evil. He'll also get an item from the king, and we're, of course, very interested to see what that is. You know, from watching Nether right now, I don't know if there's actually more medical herbs than usual in this seed.
I'm trying to remember if we saw anything on Namefaker's screen in Rockbird that was mandatory.
No, I'm not sure. I got a little distracted there from watching
They
Loon.
have no stones yet. So they might have unlocked the staircase for Marie.
Well, I know Benjinator at the very least has talked to Marie, and he hasn't been the Loon, so nothing was.
Okay.
Or it hasn't been the Rockbird, I mean.
Okay.
So Namefaker is going into Model Town 1. He'll be getting his Phoenix. Benjinator walking back. Let's see where he goes, if he's going to go to Act 6 or if he's going to go backwards a little bit. And he's moving forward. Interesting. This will help him level up a little faster, too. And he does have the Spirit Sword, so he can go straight into Magritte Castle basement.
The basement, a fairly long area, but one that almost always has something you're going to need.
True.
And there's some more magic for us. Thank you, King.
I sigh for you, Benjinator. I'm so sorry. But I will say Namefaker does have that added advantage that he has Right Tower unlocked. So you can see on Namefaker's screen the result of having that NPC that illuminates everything for you. There was a lot of lag generated right there.
But especially when you don't have magic or you have sort of a less convenient spell, it's really nice to have that ability.
Oh yeah, thank you, Joyzal. Benjinator picks up a purple stone.
Now we have 2 stones. What? Yay.
He'll have his third if he goes to Loon, but we're still missing 3 stones. Emblem G and Psycho Sword. And this layer right here is the reason that you need the Spirit Sword. You can't move forward. This layer will always be the a ghost layer.
And yet, so there's actually 4 items that can appear before that layer that can potentially still be the Spirit Sword. So you can't actually, completely discount this area without the Spirit Sword, just because of those 4 sections, 4 checks.
Terrifying to think that you'd have to come in here just for that.
Oh, and Dented doing his dancing grandmas.
Very nice. I did miss what item he got. Yeah, this is good. There's not too much of a split between our runners.
Yeah, we've got in the end we've got quite a bit of variation here.
Now, Denta doesn't have any monotowns open, but he does have the option to go straight into Act 6 if he wants to progress through there. Thank you, Amalas. Tornado. So the king in Act 4 was just a jerk. Cool.
And no one checking out the power plant yet.
Yeah, I know when you're first getting trained on how to run this randomizer, they try to tell you to stay away from the power plant. There's not too much there. But today, at least, the final boss of Act 5 definitely had some reasons to go through that.
Would you like a platinum card?
What are you doing? Okay. Let's see what King Magger does. Spark Bomb, right. As we mentioned earlier, left tower is not something you're always excited to go into. No items, but a bunch of NPC layers. It's a short dungeon. Not too bad to clear quickly.
So the odds of right tower being required are something like 10 to 20%. It's pretty low. But you know, if you're trying to pull ahead and you think you're behind, it's someplace you might go.
I mean, that's what's cool about this race. Once the first person finishes, the other runners know when that person finishes because they're using racetime.gg. So, you're gonna maybe go on that item rush you were thinking about going on, because it's not so much about coming in second against the other two. It's finishing as soon as you can to have a chance at that wildcard spot.
And that Grass Valley Hype Cave is
There we
open.
go. That's interesting.
Wow.
So we know the Benjinator and Dented Razor have access to that. We're looking forward to see what's there.
It's two chests and one gem. You almost always get something that you need. Although if you open it up early, it's a higher probability, but even later, usually a pretty good chance.
Now, of course, we don't believe in Commentator's Curse, so there's still going to be something good there. Nether Dragon having some dancing grandmas. And I believe that's probably Nether Dragon's first magic, so he'll have the Tornado spell if he so chooses to use it.
So everyone getting everything down in the basement here. This basement area, sometimes, you can kind of like pick up the teleporter and then skip out. But it looks like everyone here choosing to clear all of the layers, get all the items. Not a bad call considering how few stones we have.
I will say that is one thing that I didn't work out correctly when I was preparing for this tournament this year. There is a shortcut in this specific section that the Benjinator is in. You walk through the wall at some point, which kind of reroutes the room. That's
yes,
something that I'll have to look at in the future.
Yeah, I like to use that one. You walk through the wall. You can, if you do that route, you can avoid having to take the. You can avoid kind of like one layer that opens up a little section. But we see this ivy opening up another item in Grass Valley.
And we didn't necessarily give it the fanfare it deserved, but Benjinator did pick up his third stone. So that's 4 of the 6 stones. We know their location now. Seems the basement is definitely the place to go.
Namefaker doing Model Town number 2. I believe the only person to do that one.
I don't believe if I may have seen others go through that right now.
Neither of the chests yielding anything, though.
Benjinator equipping one of the stones, because I guess that's a trend these days.
Oh, and we have the ped deer.
So at some point, hopefully, a runner will go there to check it to see what exactly That deer has. We also just saw Nether Dragon pick up the Super Bracelet from Queen Magrid. So Super Bracelet is definitely missable in this seed. And Nether Dragon also has Right Tower unlocked, so we'll finally get to see if Right Tower is indeed required. So far, not. Alright, the Dungeonator can't stand it anymore. He wants to go check out that cave in Act 1.
I can't blame him.
Medical herb shop selling medical herbs? Seems about right.
Namefaker at least has the shield bracelet from that from the drawers at the top in the attic by Marie.
Mm-hmm. Dungeonator doing everything he can. Did he actually have that cave open? He does, yes. So he's doing everything he can to leave us in suspense, checking that last. But here we go. $80 gems, the ice armor, an experience.
Oh!
All your fault, Axeman.
Wow.
Your fault.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's like a 1 out of 10 Grass Valley Hype Cave.
Commentator's curse continues. Alright, so the Dungeonator going back to Act 4. We have Nether Dragon continuing through. This section Nether Dragon's in right now is always a pain because there's...
What?
What?
Where's the enemies? He's got to beat some enemies that...
Did it glitch out on him?
Yeah, what happened there?
Huh.
Okay. He's gonna skip out and go to the torture chamber instead of the right tower. I mean, we know that we have to do the torture chamber, but still.
That's such a tease. I wanted to see what's in Right Tower. Alright, so Namefaker and Nether Dragon in the same location. Dented Razor finishing up this dungeon that they're in. Dungeonator is about to get some more goodies. We know he's got his 4th stone, just got his red hot ball. He does not have that grandma yet, and he will soon. You know the Axeman? I bet you there's a stone in Right Tower.
I wouldn't argue with that. Nether Dragon opening up his Grass Valley Height Cave, priming himself for a little disappointment.
We've got at least one person hoping it's under the Queen. That would be a huge pain to happen. People that are in charge of this tournament, could you please let us know in the chat who's responsible for this seed? I know that NetAnonymous was responsible for the first seed today. It appears that Queen Anne B was responsible for the second one. Who's responsible for this seed?
Nether Dragon breaking out his tornado. All right, dented in the right tower. We're going to see what's here.
Ooh, that's a lag fest. Over on Benjinator's side. Yeah, it's a little interesting. There has been a little diversion in routing, but it seems that everybody's ending up in the same spots. There really is just no clear first place person right now.
So Benjinator and Nether Dragon still need to find the bubble armor, but that may actually be a blessing in disguise because we haven't seen anything in the ocean that really was worth.
Yeah. I think Southota, which gave some progression, but
you didn't need the bubble armor for that.
Right.
Though we do know, so for Namefaker, he needs an excuse to get back to the ocean in order to check that chest to get the Soul Blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said earlier, usually you have a reason to go back there, but if it gets too late in the seed, it's a little easier to forget. Alright, Strange Bottle, Medical Herb for Dented, but there are 2 more items. And then Dr. Leo, if he has that unlocked, that he can get itemized.
I know we've seen Dr. Leo. I'm not sure if we have both of the soldiers. You need to have all of them in order to in order to actually do that sequence.
So he just unlocked the singer. I'm not sure if he has a soldier there, but there is. If you have the harp string, there is a soldier there that moves when you get the harp string to the singer, and there's an item there. Could be something you need, could not. Usually faster to talk to the soldier first to learn what item is underneath of him. Alright, I'm getting word Netta is taking responsibility for this seed. Alright, Namefaker getting Pedestal Deer unlocked. Upping our chances of figuring out what is on that pedestal. Dented unlocking one of the soldiers next to Dr. Leo. Could be required. We'll see.
So we have all of the access to all of the 100% required releases done by Dented and some other and possibly by Nether, but we're still missing so many items that we really have to keep getting those releases, because that releases NPCs that can give you more items. We can't sort of go to item rush mode yet. And so we see Dented, even though he's got all of the required releases, he's going to keep releasing things to get things.
All right, so at the very least, we're going to see what Dr. Leo has as an item. I forget which runner picked up the mobile key, if not more than one. But Dented is level 24, so if he does fight the boss here, it wouldn't be too much of a time loss. I mean, it won't take a long time to do it because he is level 25. He can swing.
But he does not have Phoenix, so he couldn't actually use Phoenix, which is really huge.
I have not been as gifted before as to have Phoenix for this boss. I don't know that sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah, there's a few bosses where if you can actually use Phoenix on them, it's absolutely amazing. But Dented is not going to do that. He's going to go on.
And I believe it was the boss of Act 4 that gave us the second grandma.
That's right, yeah.
So the Benjinator will be getting that. and he'll be able to unlock Death Toll.
So we need Namefaker to go to both Act 3 and pick up his Soul Blade, and he needs to do Loon and get the second Grandma. And then he'll also get his last Red Hot. And then we still need to find the rest of these stones.
Yeah. The only big section left would be the ghost ship's secret cave. Other than that, these stones could be scattered anywhere. Dr. Leo had, I believe, magic. Flame Pillar, I think.
That's right, yeah. Dented getting his bad news in the Grass Valley Hype Cave.
Wah, wah.
Has anyone actually checked the pedestal deer yet?
I don't believe so. I don't think anybody's been back to Act 2.
Yeah, I think we've seen it unlocked, but not actually checked.
A lot of the time, you finish Act 2 early on, and you unlock a bunch of items, but you don't go back there until you're going for your item rush. But Dented is back here right now, so we'll see.
And we're getting to be about that time. That's So we're going to see Dented check this. I bet he's going to check the ped. We'll see if we have that sort of seed.
There we get our exposure to Turbo, official quintet mascot. More magic.
Oh, some more magic.
Oh. No crocodile on Dented side.
Oh, that's right. We've got to have the crocodile and the deer, which we don't have, huh?
Hurts my heart. The crocodile is accessible right now. I know others have unlocked it. All right, Benjinator getting some dancing grandmas. Everybody else in Act 6 right now, kind of going through the same path. Dented not having the soldier unlocked right now, so he can't see what's underneath the harp string. But he is going into left tower.
This is a big play. The left tower, as we said before, it's maybe 10 to 20% required. But if it is, this is a pretty big play to get this out of the way.
Yeah, he doesn't need any more progression through the game itself, but these layers in here could unlock an NPC that gives you an item you need.
And among those, I would say maybe Durian could be big. That's what I would be looking for. So that's the mermaid statue for Durian. The other things. So what else is big that we haven't seen? I mean, we've got access to Loon, both model towns. There's not a whole lot else that could be here.
All right, Nether Dragon doing his rounds back in Act 1.
Namefaker and Loon. He's going to get his red hot item and his and another stone.
Benjinator just unlocked the mouse, which I know the other characters have unlocked. He's already given the A-leaf to the cat, so he should be able to go into there and get those items from the other mouse and the plant if he goes back to Act 5 eventually. All right, here's our second shot, is seeing what's on Pedestal Deer. Benjinator getting the bubble armor, so that might guide him towards Act 3 now.
Oh. Benjinator doing the ice armor dream.
Now, we do have to give special props to Benjinator. Every time his name gets displayed on screen, he's losing extra frames because he's not using a single character name.
So we still haven't seen anything in the right tower, anything distinguishing in the right tower yet.
Did you not check the
Oh.
deer? Why do these runners hate us so much? We need content, people. Give us the deer.
You know, I guess part of it is if you don't have all of the emblems anyway, there's not a whole lot of reason to check that pedestal, but we want to see it.
I suppose you're correct, but yeah, we want to see it. All right, Nether Dragon making his way through Leo's basement right now.
And I saw Durian is open.
It is, yep.
So Dented, did I see the soldier getting released on Dented's side for the harp string? And or no, maybe not, because he's not checking it.
All right, so we do have the Benjinator in Act 3. Dented is unlocking the sections in Act 3 right now. We'll see if he goes forward into the ocean.
He's equipping his bubble armor. He's definitely going to do something here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to the Bluster statue. He's checking the mermaid up here. Yeah, I'll take the mermaid's tears. Not quite so useful when you're on level 25, hopefully, but...
And it seems like Dented's also going to be venturing out into the ocean. We'll see where he goes first. When you go through this, do you normally, if like, let's say you have all 4 open, would you go in order or would you choose one location first over the others? What say you, Axeman?
So if I'm in item go mode, I'm gonna put off Bluster for last because there's just one item on the gem. Mm-hmm. But if I need releases, I'll go Bluster because that one's got a lot of releases. On the other hand, Durian, that's got both. So I guess my ordering is Rockbird, Durian, and then depending on whether I want releases or I want items, I'll decide whether I go Ghost Ship or Bluster.
Okay.
But you know, this seed, you may need them all. I mean, we've got a lot left to get.
Well, we already know that Rockbird doesn't have too much, I think, but I don't think we've seen Bluster. So Dented's in there right now. We're going to see what is the sole item in Bluster, and then a bunch of NPC layers after that. Another dragon might have to go chasing a mouse. Hopefully not. Oh, and he just missed it. So he's going to reset them by stepping on this layer. That's a really good call. And the Thunder Ring is on the one item in Blester. So it guides you a little bit as far as logic, but the Thunder Ring is actually useless now, considering you have the Zentetsu and Soul Blade.
So where do you want to see Go mode, Solar?
Well, I was just about to say, it's interesting. I think, so the Benjinator has the door that he needs a door key for, but not the chest of drawers. Dented has the drawers, but not the door. And Namefaker is having a blast with warpers right now. As far as Go mode, I'm looking for the secret cave at Ghost Ship.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe we could see that dolphin released on, say, Demon Bird.
You, sir, are a monster.
I mean, we've seen Mobile Key, but no one's actually tried it out. Yeah. What we haven't seen is the power plant.
Yep, that's true.
I bet there's going to be a stone there.
All right, so the Benjinator looks like he's going to be continuing onwards into Durian. We'll see if he gets any good items. We're not trying to curse anything, Fancore.
Oh no. This is a great play from Benjinator. Like, Durian has multiple items, a lot of different releases, so this is sort of like a really good, just sort of like, if you're digging, this isn't really that deep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Namefaker, the last one to get his dancing grandma sequence.
So yeah, unfortunately, it seems that the players aren't going to be opening the chests in the World of Evil. So there's not going to be some endgame item rush through there. There's nothing else that they need that would actually be in there. But it does mean things could get very trolly in the other worlds, just because...
Oh, and Namefaker hasn't gotten this mushroom dream yet.
So another make... Oh. Go ahead.
I thought we'd seen this mushroom dream from someone else, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering that right.
I don't remember what the lair was. I know the item wasn't useful. But yeah, we see Nether Dragon making use of the ice armor here, protecting him even more against these glowing red hot spots.
Oh, the layer in that is the mouse that opens up the mouse hole in Leo's lab.
Oh, okay. Namefaker making his way back to Act 1. I believe he'll be the next in line for disappointment. Based off of the people from the first 2 seeds, their top times, it looks like the seed might be a little longer than the other ones.
That's right. Yeah, we saw like 202 on the first seed and 149 on the second. But I mean, that's La Hulk and and Lost Core. So I don't know if that if that really represents the rest of us mortals here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those 2 might have some general knowledge on this game already.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, so like we said in the introductions here, so La Hulk, he has the US the English language version any percent speedrun record. Lost Core has the 100% US version in record. But Namefaker, who is in this race, he has the Japanese version any percent record, and he just earned it. So he's been practicing this game.
Oh, we finally get to find out from Namefaker what is on this goofy deer. I'm excited, Axeman.
This is always very exciting.
Come on!
Oh, oh, a trade-in item. Wow. So we don't know. That moles ribbon is a trade-in item that could result in a stone. We don't know until we actually get it. That is amazing. And so far, Denton is the only one that knows this.
As I said earlier,
Benjinator,
get this seed.
Benjinator and Durian about to reach the some items here. Let's see if there's another stone here. So the critical sword chest. This could be something interesting.
Man, you know a lot about this game.
Oh, light arrow.
Now,
So
would you
light
agree
arrow.
That's the best magic in the game, Axeman.
Yes. And yeah, Benjinator thoroughly enjoying getting that. So far, he is the only one to get this magic. And yeah, I think he's pretty happy about that.
I will say it's relatively late in the run, so I don't know how useful it will be, but it is nice to see it regardless. We do see Namefaker going into the power plant.
All right. So given what we've seen, we're pretty sure that one of the items here is going to be something good.
Then Namefaker's like, you know what? Let's just check the item and get out of here.
Herding cats is easier than herding mice.
Benjinator coming back to Leno. We do know it is required to do this.
Has he not done this yet?
He has not. Truth be told, I don't remember what the heck was in here either.
Namefaker not doing the power plant after all.
I don't remember if it's possible or not to step on that layer that's in the middle of the ice. But if this is the first time back, I don't know if Benjinator's picked up that layer. I don't remember what's on it, so hopefully it's not important.
Oh, yeah. That's an unfortunate one to miss. I won't say it's too soon, but... but yes, I missed that one, in the first race of the day, and it ended up being important.
I didn't even. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even piece 2 and 2 together.
And no one did actually. I cleared the rest of the game, and when I came on the stream for a little interview, no one actually said anything about it. But that was the one I missed. But look at this, Benjinator having a much easier time in Lane Ol than anyone else because he's got the light arrow magic. He can snipe these Wizrobes from way far away before they teleport.
Yeah, so even if Namefaker was ahead before, which it's kind of hard to tell at this point, this is getting a little bit of that time back because he's able to defeat these enemies slightly faster. We'll say Namefaker does have the most emblems right now, so if he gets one more emblem, we can continue this story of the Mole's Ribbon and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. For all we know, that could be something else leading to something else. Okay, so they should have that mole unlocked. It is just a matter of finding that last emblem. Fetch quest, best quest. For a viewer, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so far, everybody is in a location we've all been before, so we're not going to be learning any new information. We did just cross the 2-hour mark, so this might be another good moment, probably the last moment to show the prize for the day. What the runners
That's
are
a great
fighting for.
idea.
And there we go. So again, this is on the Etsy shop of To Monitor. He's been making these. He has a wide variety of a selection here. And as I mentioned earlier, this was a similar prize for the Illusion of Gaia Randomizer tournament that was held a few months ago. So we have a scene here of the Phoenix being on a Ped seed. This isn't quite the idea for this, but we're having a fun little variation of it right now. So yeah, shout outs to Monitor. Everybody that's racing today is playing for this. The finals tomorrow will have one winner that receives this. We'll also have one randomly selected viewer tomorrow that will win one of these. So please stay tuned tomorrow to see. Maybe you'll be that lucky winner. But yeah, thanks again to Monitor for offering this up as a prize. And just as a recap for what was going on today, there was a schedule. And we're back.
So, we have the preliminary rounds of this tournament. We have 3 rounds of 4 players each. This is the third of those rounds. And then the winner of each of these goes to the finals. In addition, one of the second place finishers, that is the closest second place finisher, will be sort of a wild card entry in the finals. And it's looking like there's a pretty good chance that the second place player from this race will get that, because they only need to be within 13 minutes of the finish.
Yeah, and just logistically, it would make sense that player would come from this bracket. These 4 people, compared to the other 2 brackets, would have the closest time amongst themselves for the preliminary seed that they turned in. Just on how the 100% committee seeds everything on times.
That's right. We picked the top 12 runners from the timing on a sort of a qualifying seed. Oh, and there's a stone on the way to the ghost ship.
Oh, wow. All right, so we just need to find that one last stone.
So I'm not sure if that's all of the stones found or not, because I don't think everyone has found everyone else's stones yet.
I think that would be Benjinator's 5th stone. That would be Nametaker's 5th stone as well. Actually, that would be everybody's 5th stone, except for Dented.
Okay.
There's still one more chest on the actual ghost ship. But I'm still pulling for the secret cave, for sure.
It does happen sometimes. So because of how the randomizer works, that secret cave, even though it has 4 items, it's a fairly low priority. Oh, and we see the dolphin that opens up the secret cave is on the ghost ship route.
Man,
that is kind of interesting. Wow.
Nametaker also picking up his soul blade. I don't know if that was fairly recent or not, but it'd be interesting to know what's going through his mind. Because he could have had that a while ago, although we don't really know how useful it would have been.
So at 209, okay, let's back up and go to the previous races where we saw the finishes happening at 202 was the first preliminary win, and the second one happened at 149. So when you get to 209 and no one has finished yet, what's going through your mind?
After watching today, you're probably thinking, so someone's going to finish soon, and I don't feel like I'm close, so maybe I start to play a little more risky. That will definitely amplify once someone does finish. But most of these guys have been playing this game for a while, so hopefully they keep a cool head, keep playing the way they normally would, and I still think we're going to have a good close race out of this.
I think so too.
So what would you do at this point? Would you go back and go into the Dolphin's Dream just to unlock this section?
Oh, for sure. Especially if you've already gone through this area, you've got the Dolphin. Oh, but Dented doesn't.
Dented says no to you, Axeman.
Wow. So the Dolphin, not a super high probability, but, if you're there and you've got it all, why not?
I don't really know what each individual player calls as their line they cross when they want to do an item rush. So we know Dented is just missing 2 stones. We still don't know what's behind Mole's ribbon, but I don't know if that's necessarily item rush time yet. Maybe 5 stones out of 6. Is the dream long? It's not super long to where that would be a reason to walk away from it. I just think Dented is probably wanting to continue to unlock layers to get more NPCs that might have items.
I mean, as far as an item rush, it's a pretty good time to do it. Is once you've gotten to the end and sort of like, cleared some of the layers in all the way in Act 6, you might as well go back and start getting some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we see Dented going into the power plant. This could be big.
I finally get to see what's here. We know that treasure chest doesn't have anything, but we don't know what the layers hold. We see the mice also trolling Dented, just as they did for Namefake.
But those mice, not required. They're from a layer that is sort of out on the side that you don't really need to get.
Yeah, when we're going to see. Right, there's 2 layers there that you can just completely skip. Now these mice.
Yes, those mice he has to get.
No.
And he's just short. But you know, when you've unlocked that extra path there for the light armor chest, you get the mice have some extra room to run.
He just casually throws out the light armor chest. I'm so glad you're here right now, so I'm not just some dumb schmuck by myself. No idea about the vanilla game.
So the comment from Amalas points out that Dented still hasn't unlocked Model Town 1. Do we remember where that was? That was fairly early, because everyone else has Phoenix.
Model Town 2 was the first one that was unlocked, but it has to be prior to Act 5, I believe.
Yeah, that's actually pretty important, because Dented can't finish without that. So even if he finds his last stones here, he's got a bit of a disadvantage.
Oh, it might be the reason. I don't know if Dented actually has the Big Pearl. That might be why he hasn't done that dream. I noticed one player didn't have that mermaid unlocked that gives you the Big Pearl. I just don't remember which one.
Yeah, Dented had he had the dolphin that has the dream, but I don't know if he's I thought he's got access. But that Model Town 1, that's pretty big. I'm not sure where it was. And that's right, it also had a stone.
Alright, Dented got to be a little careful here. Get a little low on HP. He might just go ahead and heal after he clears this layer. Before he goes to the boss. Oh, no.
Oh no, who cares?
Nah. It's got to knock away, right?
I mean, he might have his Metachlorb equipped, we'll see. Maybe he'll just play it safe.
Or he's just going to...
Nope.
Oh, yeah, there went the medical herb.
Yeah, why not? And they're with the boss. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, we saw... Thank you, Amalas. We did get to see that there's an emblem in Power Plant. So, the dream is still alive, I guess. Now, we might get to see this boss fight on the Benjinator side.
Okay, so Name Faker checking this. Oh, okay. That mermaid just having a medical herb. Benjinator doing his Leo sequence.
So we're going to see Leo give Benjinator Flame Pillar. Probably not going to equip that. It's not often you go away from the light arrow. Alright, so we're not going to be seeing that boss fight. Namefaker is making his way to Ghost Ship, so he is going to pick up access to that dolphin.
Dented hadn't done this the Leo's basement, huh? That's
Actually, now come to think of it, there was at least one model town unlocked from Leo's basement.
That's right. That's probably the model town that he's missing.
Could be.
That's
He's
pretty
actually
important.
both, yeah.
Okay, so Name Faker catching up on the stone race at 4 stones now. He hasn't actually done the Dancing Grandma's event, but he's got everything he needs.
Now we see Benjinator going in through the power plant, so he's going to get his final emblem, I guess. We might finally get to see what's behind Mole's ribbon.
Well, Nether Dragon Never found his bubble armor, but still soldiering on through the the water world.
Awesome.
That's always,
Nothing says you can't break out of logic, right?
there's no reason. Yeah. I mean, it's not in logic, but why not?
Yeah, I guess so, Joyzall. Soul armor fixes everything.
Apparently, space is easier than the sea.
Alright, so we know that Dented Razor has Model Town 1 unlocked now. Sorry, Model Town 2 unlocked. So we're going to be looking for Model Town 2 to get the Phoenix. Oh,
and
is that
Name Faker doing the Big Pearl Dream?
I forgot he mentioned that in the Discord, that he doesn't have auto tracking.
Oh, huh.
Oh, be careful, Benjinator.
The cat. Okay. Have we seen that cat stream?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's because we haven't seen. I think we've only seen the power plant on Benjinator and Dented.
Name Faker going for the Dented strat, not putting the bubble armor on.
This is actually so there's a reason to do this, which is if you if you don't, well, once you've got everything, then you unequip everything and then you can death warp.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. So our stone is still MIA.
So he's just going to give up his gems and death warp.
Losing 440 isn't too bad. If he finds a stone, which I guess he might still be missing an emblem, or maybe not. I'm not sure if he's not tracking everything. He's going back to Act 2, so maybe he's going to turn in for the Mole's Ribbon.
Trio. It's not on the Woodson Trio.
I just want to see. Why are they torturing us?
What does Monmo's fan have?
Oh, so he would get that, but we're not sure if the last stone is on the ribbon. Would be interesting though. I mean, it's obviously what everybody's rooting for.
Oh, okay. So Name Faker's adjusted to 5. Oh wait, no, he's got all the stones. Okay, so Name Faker's go mode.
Wow. Well, what in the world did we miss?
I mean, we missed because he doesn't have his auto track. He doesn't have an auto tracker, and we we weren't as smart as sharp as him, I guess.
All right, so the pedestal dream dies. Sorry, everybody. Chest of drawers behind key door. Okay, well there you go. Another good spot to check. That's 2 items in 1 check. So nothing wrong with checking that for sure.
So Namefaker, he's in the world of evil. He's on level 23, and he's got the super bracelet. He's got recovery sword. This is pretty much, where you put that check mark in the, when you show the poker hand probabilities.
Yeah, so he's going to go through this screen and the next, and he's not level 24 by then, which he probably will be. He's just going to do a quick grinding session on the rectangular prisms that show up to hit 24, but he'll probably be 24 before he gets there. And then when he finishes, the clock starts to see when the second place person will finish.
That's right. And we've got our second place players have all they've all got 2 more stones to get. So yeah.
It's in the air for sure. There's level 24. All right, so here's first form death toll. And now is the point that you would normally equip Phoenix, which Namefaker has done, because otherwise, anytime in the World of Evil before that, it would generate way too much lag.
All right. So
I noticed the strat earlier today, Namefaker not going for it. If you wait just a little bit at the beginning of the fight before you kill that last blue light pillar, you can time the cycles of the lasers being off screen and death toll being vulnerable to where you generate almost no lag. But at this point, I know he just is really wanting to finish this as soon as possible. Benjinator releasing the chest, the drawer, so we know what could be his final stone is there. Yeah, level 24 is the level you need to be to swing the Soul Blade, and swinging the Soul Blade allows you to fire the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is the only thing that can damage death toll. So for the runners of this game, it's not really the number of HP points of death toll you worry about, it's the number of cycles you're going through, because most of the time you hit enough every time. So he'll be finished relatively soon, if not already from the delay. GG, there you go.
There we go, yeah.
Namefaker, way to go.
All right, Namefaker is our winner for this third preliminary race in the Herb Percent number 3 tournament.
So he finished with a 2:26.09. It was 13 minutes and what? That is the gap here.
It's like 13 minutes and 1 second. So if we see one of our other runners finishing within that time, they'll be able to get the wild card entry into the finals tomorrow.
That's right, QB. If you're watching and you're not asleep yet, we're looking for someone to finish later than 2:39.10. So let's see.
And we can see both Nether Dragon and Benjinator. All they need are 2 stones, and to finish the World of Evil. That's not a whole lot.
Yep, same for Dented too, right?
Denton still needs to get his Phoenix, but he's going to get that pretty soon.
Yep, I'll definitely pick that up here. But there are definitely some things that can really... Oh, there's the blue stone. So we do know that where the other stone is, it just really depends if he has that unlocked. And keep in mind, the World of Evil will also take some time to go through, along with Death Toll.
Dented realizing that he only needs items, and so he's skipping some of the things that only give him releases. So he's getting his Phoenix, but he needs to get that last stone.
So, see, I don't really know if this is the mindset of knowing that Namefaker's done and he's on the clock to finish, or if he would do this normally. But it looks like he's going to go on an item rush, just for the hopes of coming in second place in a quick enough time.
I think so, and I haven't looked close enough to see whether which actual stone he's missing.
So, unfortunately, Namefaker is not going to want to interview with us, which is perfectly fine. But we'll see if we can get some of the other runners in as they finish.
Gnome was really worried about him. Oh, okay. So, Amelas is commenting that Dented, the thing he needs is the that chest in Leo's lab, but he doesn't have the door to get in there. So that's unfortunate. He may wander around a while before he figures that out.
Is that where that chest of drawers was?
I'm not sure where that chest is. Yeah.
I feel like it was the difference between... I don't know.
So Alien's Cube, who is currently leading in the wild card race here.
Sure would be a
with
shame
bated breath.
If we took an ad break for 12 minutes right now. I mean, in our defense, fan core, this is our third round of seeds for the day.
That's where the light armor is.
Benjinator going down to check the door.
Wow.
X-Man, I can't give this to fan core. Where was the other stone?
That's... Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah, what is the other stone that Benjinator's missing?
Did he go into the basement? In Act 5?
That might be it, if he hasn't. Dented is in Model Town number 2, and he's just gonna go check the item, the chest here.
Which is a smart thing to do. Yeah, this isn't about racing the others anymore. This is about finishing, hoping for the risk pays off. Benjinator going into left tower. There's not going to be any items here, so this is... He still might win the race, but this is not going to get him into the wildcard spot going through here.
That's right. So who has done Ghost Ship?
Wait, was that where that... Hmm.
Because yeah, there was one stone on the way to Ghost Ship.
Was it the stone and not the dolphin?
It wasn't in the dolphin secret. It
Right,
was
right.
the power ring chest. Chest. Yeah.
Never mind. If you're gonna throw out the game lore again, you're correct. I'm wrong. Don't even listen to me. And in case QB has forgotten, there are 6 minutes left. That's right. Yeah. The right corner chest. Okay. Oh, wait. That is where the power bracelet is. I do remember that from the
That's right,
speedrun
yeah.
now.
I
Okay.
mean, if you've done the any % run of the vanilla game, you're gonna get that chest because the power ring is freaking amazing.
Like I told you offline, I got as far as Leo's lab, so I do remember that part right there.
Okay, I have to admit, I have not completed a decent run on the vanilla game either. But I'm hoping to, because in a few weeks there's gonna be the Everhate Memorial Run, and I'm hoping to be able to get into that. I've gotta I've gotta improve my my abilities a little bit, but
And I would never root against Aliens Q, but I would love to see somebody make an item rush through the Ghost Ship right about now, just to put the pressure on. Maybe playing a little bit with fire here. No, but even regardless of the outcome of this race, the 3 remaining runners are doing an amazing job. They're basically at the same place right now. They're just looking for something that unlocks a way to a stone.
yeah. And finishing this especially a seed like this that has you going everywhere in under 2.5 hours is pretty impressive. So don't discount that versus whatever. I haven't actually looked at. I didn't actually watch the second race where the Hulk finished under 1 hour 50. That's just amazing. But
I'm reliving
but
it
yeah.
right now.
If you can full clear a seed in under 3 hours, that is pretty impressive. And I think we're at least on that pace between all of these runners.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, nobody's really made any mistakes. I think Dented maybe died right at the beginning of the final dungeon in Act 1, but that was hardly a time loss compared to what it could have been. All these runners are doing a great job going through things. I think the only slow thing they had to go through was Lane Nolan Loon without magic, at least for some of them.
All right, so has Benjinator gone to Ghost Ship at all? If that's not,
I don't believe so. No.
Okay,
that
so that's going to be his last dome.
Now.
Yeah, so that could be his last zone and his go mode.
With how he's been going through things, he'll probably still open the layers along the way. Yeah, Dented probably already did Ghost Ship. He's just looking for one other stone, which is just now been unlocked by that door. So this actually is a pretty nice race between the two. If he goes and unlocks that right now versus the stone Benjinator's about to get, it'll be a close race for second between the two. And there is Benjinator's final stone. We see Dented running back down. He's going to go up. He is, so he's going to get his final stone. And off he goes. So this is actually going to be a really close race. They're going to get to the central hub right about the same time.
But at this point, we are.
Yep.
At this point, Aliens Cube can breathe a sigh of relief. He is going to be the wild card entry for the finals of this tournament.
GG, QB. Way to go. Alright, so Nether Dragon is heading into Blesser. He's going to see if he can get some kind of progression. There is the chest of drawers that he needs, although he's unaware that that does hold a stone right now. Alright, so the Benjinator just hit level 24. He's not going to have to grind at the end. Obviously, Dented is good to go. He might be at a slight disadvantage, actually, if he doesn't level up again, just because his HP is going to be low. If he doesn't have the Medical Herb, this boss fight would be a little more sketchy.
So, they have the Super Bracelet, so
Well,
it shouldn't be a big problem.
I know Benjinator has the Shield Bracelet, which, as far as defense, is still going to be fine, but that'll make killing the blue pillars of fire a little slower on Benjinator's side if Dented actually has the power, the Super Bracelet. Alright, looks like Nether Dragon's about to go pick up a stone.
What is wrong? Don't you remember me?
Alright, so Dented is first to go into Death Toll's lair. He does have a Medical Herb equipped right now.
Now this is serious business.
Yeah, so depending on how the lag gets set out, Benjinator still does have a shot. So there's the Medical Herb being used. Dented probably wanting to put something on if he has it.
Does he even have a Power Bracelet or the Super Bracelet? He might not.
I'm not sure. Both characters generating a lot of lag. I know he's going to want to be careful here. It's not unheard of to die to Death Toll.
Who would ever do that?
Okay, we don't have to talk about that right now. It's been a long day. I'm gonna let that one go. All right. Benjinator using the Phoenix to get rid of these 2 pillars of fire. I'm gonna say Denton's probably gonna pull this one out in the end, though.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's got it. I think Benjinator's trying to play it a little safe since he didn't open the safety portal or anything else.
Dented. Dented finishes with a 243.18. Over to Benjinator right now, who'll be done very shortly.
And we missed this. Nether Dragon, he is go mode as well.
Nice. And he does have the super bracelet, so this will go a little smoother for him, hopefully. Spoiler alert for those in chat. Seems the Benjinator is finished as well. Although we haven't seen it yet. GG Benjinator. And this is the kind of race you like to see between people. And these two guys just finished within 50 seconds of each other. That's awesome. You're all right, Joyce. So we'll see if we can get some of the runners in to talk about the seed and how it was. Welcome in, Benjinator.
Hey, well that was one of the least fun seeds I've done in a while.
That wasn't as streamlined as the other two today, I guess.
No.
Well, I felt like I was doing okay in the beginning. Like I felt like I made a couple of good decisions, and then like as time went on, I was just like, oh no, how long is it? When am I going to actually get the next stone?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. We were really hoping that the did you check the emblem, dear?
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I checked it at the very end. Like I had sort of in the back of my head that it could be like a pedestal seed, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, we never did get to learn what was behind the mole's ribbon because of that.
Oh, I think it was just an herb, or no, it was either an herb or like a strange bottle, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Denton Razor, welcome in as well. GG to both of you. That was a very close race between you two right there.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, you were just a little bit behind Namefaker. Overall, that was just a little bit longer seed than the other ones today. I'm sure it was a little exhausting to go through that.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, just everything kind of seemed more spread out in this one, and and also just when you have like anything that's required in the sunken ship, it just makes things so much harder.
For sure. Now, everybody kind of spread out right from the get-go. Some went to Act 3 when they could. Some went back to do Act 1.
Yeah, I think because Act 1, I think you could do all of Act 1 from the beginning, if I recall. So you had a lot of choices there.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys... Tell me your thoughts of seeing Nametaker finish. What was in your mind right there? How did you want to keep playing? The same way you were, or were you going to be like rushing for an item rush just to go as fast as you could at that point?
I mean, at that point, I had figured that there was like... Because a lot of the time I was thinking this is going to be one of those seeds where there's something required in the in left tower, isn't there? And I kind of had that in the back of my head. And I was just like, well, I mean, like Namefaker is really good anyways, but like... At the same time, I was like, oh, there's got to be something in left tower.
Well, both of you played phenomenally. You, no mistakes. It was a really fun race to watch, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you very
I enjoyed
much.
it regardless.
I thought the emblem fair was going to have it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the seed, Denton?
I thought it was like Benjamin said, it was very spread out, and there's just a lot of stuff that you needed was very front loaded, and it was just that out of the way chest that seemed to have the one that you really needed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gambles that I took that just the seed just decided to punish. So
Now, do you GG to Nether Dragon? He just finished.
GG's.
So that's the end of that race. Is there a do you always power level to level 24 as soon as you get the Soul Blade?
it depends. If it's early in the game, then I generally go for that, since it seems like a lot of monsters and just a lot of bosses fall pretty quick to it. So
Okay.
it's in itself kind of a gamble, but I just like to swing that sword.
Yeah. That's hey, you got there fast enough. It did give you some power at the end there for sure.
Yeah, I was considering it as well, but I kind of figured, since it was like one of those early sword seeds where you had like a Z sword and a spirit sword and a soul blade, I was like, we'll be okay. Also, the fact that I got that early soul armor pickup made me feel like, I don't need to necessarily like get up to level 24 right now, but I was considering it.
Yeah, I think you were the first one to pick up the soul armor.
Yeah, that was just on a whim. I was like, maybe the birds got something since I released it. Oh, there we go.
Welcome in, Nether Dragon. GG on finishing it out there.
GG's.
Yes, thank you.
We were just talking about the race. It seemed like the seed was just kind of all over the place, right, Nether?
Was anybody else's right tower bugged?
Oh, we did see that. What in the world happened there?
I don't know. It would not pop. It would not open up for me.
Oh, that's weird. I
At
didn't
least
know that.
it was required.
Yeah, he's talking about the layer where you have to clear the 4 layers around it right towards the beginning of right tower. For whatever reason, it didn't pop open.
Oh, okay, I see, yeah.
And then, of course, I missed the bubble armor, so I was like, okay. So went to dip into the water area, went to the rock bird, that was useless. If I had just gone into Bluster's that first layer there, I would have been good. And if I had just gone into the ghost ship, I would have been good. But I went to do other checks first.
Yeah, we got to see something I don't usually get to see when I watch these runs. A lot of you went into the ocean without bubble armor on, be it because you had to or just you were doing it as a choice. It was cool to see that for different reasons.
I also went and did Magicless, Loon, and Leno, and that kind of paid off at first, but...
Yeah, some of you had to go through Loon and Leno without magic, and that was kind of fun to watch. Benjinator had the privilege to have at least a little bit of magic going through there, so that was nice for him.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, like, Spark Bomb was not helping me out that much.
No.
I was infuriated with those whiz robes. Like that was probably the worst part.
You had Spark Bomb and you had Rotator, and it was like, well, I mean, he's got magic, but good luck.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid those areas for a while when I just didn't have any magic at all, and then when I had Spark Bomb and Rotator, I was like, oh, fine, I guess, why not?
But once again, I missed an easy, simple, obvious check with the bubble armor.
Yeah, that bug got a few of us today, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seemed like the ocean was open for a while, but bubble armor was nicely tucked away in the squirrel's hut. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you 3 racers, you all finished within 5 minutes of each other, so that's really, really awesome. Do you have any closing thoughts about the seed or just today in general?
No, it was. I think I could have done. If I not wasted so much time trying to get in the right tower, I would have probably done a lot better. But I wasted time. Just like kept going in and out. Maybe it would fix itself. Going in and out, and it never fixed itself. So.
Yeah.
I just was glad to finish it because, like, when you're almost full clearing the seat, there's always that haunting thought like you missed something. So,
yeah, it's like I was like, I kept thinking, do I have everything? Okay, I have everything, but then no, I was missing like the chest that had my 1 stone. I was like, there were still chests I was missing. I was like, the chances of those having my items are slim, but as somebody has said, I gotta start full clearing now.
I see we have. Oh, go ahead.
I guess I was just glad that the seed didn't have a lot of vines in Greenwood, since that generally makes things a lot more punishing. But had a lot of fun in this run, and it was just great playing with y'all, and it's just such a thrilling race. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That was
Yeah.
nice.
Goat.
Yeah, the goat did let you all know where the Phoenix was. It was also nice. It seemed like the Zentetsu sword popped up just when it needed it to. Same for the Spirit Sword, right before you needed it. So it was cool to see that. I see we have Queen and B in chat right now. Hello.
Hey, Queenie.
We are all excited. We see you've posted we have a bracket posted for tomorrow.
Yes, I was gonna announce officially the 4 winners of tomorrow.
All right.
Well, no, four winners of today for tomorrow.
Take it away, Queenie.
And this morning, our first winner was Lost Score. This afternoon, it was Le Hulk, and Name Faker just won this race. And finally, it was Alien's Cube, who is going to be our 4th runner, because he is the one that finished with the least time between the first and the second place. Did I say this right?
Yep.
Perfect. So, yes, stay tuned tomorrow at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. So early. And 2 p.m. Central European time for the final match. And the winner will go home with this beautiful diorama, a cube made by The Monitor. I strongly recommend, if you want to watch his shop, he has cubes of other games as well. Zelda, Illusion of Gaia, and I was told some other games, I don't remember. And tomorrow at 10 in the finals, there will be one that will be draw between all the viewers that are going to be there tomorrow.
So before we head out, it will be who's running the French commentary tomorrow?
It will be Neta and Skarsnik. Skarsnik
Alright.
is who is the one who made the tracker for this game.
Mm-hmm. The one that every runner had to use for this tournament. And tomorrow on the English channel, it'll be myself and Queen NB running commentary. But speaking of commentary, the Axeman, thank you so much for doing commentary with me today. I had a blast with that.
Thank you. This was a blast.
Something I did was like, why'd I do that? I probably made some funny, like missing, getting to talk to the first guy for going into the shrine. I did a lot of things that's like,
You will not be alone in that. I will also be laying awake in bed tonight questioning things. But
Well, we can all look forward to the Solar Queenie commentary combo tomorrow. So
yeah.
Yes, well, I have a question for you. Like today, I was asking chat, why was Gnome in prison in the first place?
Hey, I'm a loss. Do you know the names of these two cats right here? No, Queenie, I don't know what the heck the name of these cats are. What are you getting at? They keep wanting getting to. Okay.
And I like that you took this example, because it's immediately after that I had to leave because my house was on fire.
yeah, that was the real winner of today. Was the Queenie having to
This never happened before.
Well, Queenie, would you like to close us out then for the day?
No, I'm tired. You go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to SpeedGaming. Joyzal has been working behind the scenes a lot today to make sure everything was going well. You've done an amazing job. Thank you for helping us go through all of this in every stage. Thank you, Queenie, for organizing this tournament with the help of Neta. I hear tell this officially becomes your tournament next year, but we'll see. We'll see. Thank you again to all the commentators. Thank you, Axeman, for doing this with me. I've had a blast all day. I know all of us have had a blast the past 2 months prepping for this, getting ready for it. It is a very fun randomizer. I know the Discord has been promoted a bunch in chat. If you want to try this out, feel free to join. We'd love to have you in the community. And as you mentioned before, if you find it in your heart, please go follow the runners. They would really appreciate it. And also to all the commentators, again, if you want to follow them, go for it. So yeah, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. was it? CEST?
Yeah.
Okay. We will see you then.
Awesome. See you then.